Hey guys, I hope you're all having a wonderful day today. I wanted to do a video on this Origin Bumblebee from the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. This is a Target exclusive where I'm at. Me personally, I am not too keen on store exclusives. I really wish these type of things were just released in mass to the public at every store and online shop that they could, but I guess, as a collector, those are the type of things that we have to deal with. It just means more hunting. My local Target for me is not really well stocked at all. Had been looking for this particular figure maybe since it's been announced, and nothing. I finally was away for something else entirely different, about an hour and a half away from where I live. There happened to be a Target there. I was there shopping for something else, and this happened to be on the shelf. And I just swiped it. There was actually two of them just sitting there. But just to, I guess, move with the video here, here's the packaging. Really nice. They show the different iterations of Bumblebee here. The back product, and this is the main reasoning why I got this figure, is this Cybertronian mode, which for anyone who is a fan of G1 and the cartoon, this is from the first episode, when you see him and Wheeljack looking for energy, and they show the different transformation modes, I believe, for Bumblebee, Wheeljack, Jazz, and I believe Soundwave, and I think a couple others like Laserbeak. But I'd been looking for Hasbro to make a robot that transforms into this for a long, long time, so I'm very happy I was able to get this figure. And then they show you the robot mode with the different accessories. The only difference is that the gun and the backpack that they show here in silver or gray are black for me. Other than that, I think it's nice packaging. With that, along with the figure, you get your standard instructions. As far as accessories, you get this backpack, which got some really nice detailing on it. And you could put this on the back of the figure here. There's a port, and there you go. You can attach it. The other accessory that you get is this gun, which again is really nicely detailed, and I think goes really well along with the figure, and you could put it on his hand. And the other part are these, I guess, I don't know if I'm saying it right, energon rods or just energy rods. These are again very particular to that episode, that first episode of Transformers, right, where they're scrounging up for energy, him along with Wheeljack. These are really nice. They've got some translucent flake in them, and they're really bright and orange. The only bad thing with these is that they do not fit in his hand. You physically can't get them in there, and they don't come apart. Like, you can't take these tops off to fit in there, which is a shame. I wish he would have been able to hold them. You can take a couple and I guess wrap them around his arm if you wanted to, like pose him so that it looks like he's holding them. But other than that, I think this is really nice that they included this, right? It's very specific to that episode. The figure itself, I think they've done a really great job, especially with the color. I think a lot of times when they do Bumblebee figures or figures that tend to be yellow in color, they can come off a bit orange. And this is nice and bright yellow. Really, really nice. And the head sculpt, really well done, I think, too, for such a small figure. That's a really nice Bumblebee face. And again, it's really nice that they've been able to put this little figure together. My only gripes for me are the feet here. They're huge. I wish they would have somehow at least add an extra joint here so they could fold in so it doesn't look comically big. And also this kibble on the legs. And granted, I know this is like a $20 figure. But I just wish they would have found a better way to hide this kibble maybe behind the leg somehow. And he does have a bit of a backpack. You guys could see him there from the front. That's just part of the vehicle mode. You guys could see it there. But it's a nice little figure. He's very well articulated. Shoulders, elbows, they turn. The head turns. It moves slightly up and down, not too much. And the legs, etc. You have your joints there, the knees, and the ankles do have some movement as well. But it's a really nice figure. I think it's a really nice Bumblebee, and I'm especially impressed with the color. I'm really, really happy that they got the color correct. There you go. There's Buzzworthy Bumblebee. While I have them in robot mode, I figure I'd do some comparisons. So first we'll do, and I believe this is MP 45, if I'm remembering correctly. There you go. I know a lot of folks don't like this guy, especially because of the feet. I tend to like this guy a lot because he's very cartoon accurate. So I will say though, I actually like the face better on him than I do on this MP45. But I do like this toy. It's really nice. But I figured, there you go. The other Bumblebee that I have is MP21, if I'm remembering the number correctly. And this is also a really nice figure. This is obviously more cartoon accurate. This is more toy accurate. And this is sort of where I was sort of mentioning the color. The yellow in this guy is actually yellow, at least to my eyes. This guy comes off a little orangey. So, but again, a really nice figure. You guys can see the sort of like the sizing difference there. This guy's a little taller than both of these. Slightly, not too much. But there you go. You could see them together. And the other Bumblebee that I have is the Netflix Bumblebee from the War for Cybertron series. But you guys could sort of see him there. And as far as the face on this guy, yeah, it's nice. That's the thing I like about this one is the face. It's really nicely detailed. Anyway, but you guys could see these are all the 4 Bumblebees that I have currently in my collection. So that's why I said I think the way they got the color right on this one is really nice. These are all really nice figures, by the way. So, and then I have 2 more, and while they're not Bumblebee per se, they're very similar in mold to this guy. So the first one would be, let me move these guys back. Here he is next to Cliff Jumper from Earthrise, War for Cybertron. You guys can see them there together. They pair up again, I think, really well. And then here he is next to Hubcat. It's a whole different mold, obviously, but I always tend to put all these mini bots together. So there you go. Just sort of wanted to show you guys while I have them in robot model, the different comparisons. So we can go through the transformation. It's simple. I think when you start getting into the legs is when you start getting into some complications. But usually the first thing I do is fold these hands in. It's hollow here, so you can put the hands in there. The next thing to do is pull this back piece out and up. And then if you pull this slightly out, you can start to pull this out, this part here. And you have to snap this in place so that it sits like that. Nice and flush. You can leave this up. The next thing to do would be this chest piece comes off. So if you pull it out and then up, you could pull this right over his head, as so, and turn it. And for now, you can just leave that like that. The other thing that we could do while we're here is turn his waist fully around so that technically the legs are facing backwards. Once you do that, then you can then take these arms and you're going to fold them in so they're on a hinge. And you take that and fold it all the way in. There you go. Same thing here. And as you do that, you'll notice that there's a peg on this arm that goes into this section here. You can see it on my hand right there. You have to make sure that they line up and they sort of get together like that. They're in place now. So with that done, the next thing to do is the legs here, and this is where you get a bit of it gets a little bit interesting. So usually what I do is I pull all this foot part all the way down and I angle it. Same thing here. Pull this all the way down, angle it. And then the next thing to do is this kibble. Essentially, it's sort of like on a hinge. Sometimes it likes to come off, but I just move it forward and then see that it came off like that, so that it's like that, sits flush. Next thing to do is this panel goes like that, and then this section is gonna go, you see a tab here, is gonna go in here. So there you go. And then you can also move this panel that was in the back of the leg like that. And essentially that's what we'll do with this other foot. So start turning this. There you go, so that it sits like that. You can move this panel up, and then you can do that. And then once you have it like that, essentially, again, you're gonna make sure this sits flush in there. And once you're in there, then just turn this slightly so that these sections are facing each other. And this is where you're going to utilize, there's a hinge here, or a double hinge, I guess as they call it, to essentially tab these in there. And I'll show you. So essentially you're going to turn the legs like this. You're going to go like that. And then make sure that it's like that. And there's a section here, you'll see it, what this is supposed to fit in. And then same thing here, you kind of fold that in, make sure it goes in there, and again, so that it looks like this from the bottom. The other thing you could do now that we're almost there, you're going to collapse this panel in, make sure it fits, and then finally this section here. And then you kind of make sure there's you could see it, there's a tab supposed to catch in there. And there you go. And there you have Bumblebee in his Cybertronian vehicle mode, which to me is really, really awesome. I'm glad Hasbro was able to make this, what is it, a UFO. Reminds me of a little pancakes here, but I think from this angle, this is really, really nice. I like, this is pretty much what was in the cartoon. I think it fits really well. I'm gonna get a nice little flight stand and have him sort of hover so that it looks like he's floating. There you go. There's the chest part. There's the Autobot symbol, the yellow there. The only gripes for me right now, I mean, obviously the differences in the yellow. This is slightly brighter and in finish than some of these parts here, so you get differences, right? But again, at that price point for a $20 figure, I think that should be okay. The other issue that I'm having with is sometimes when trying to put this guy in this mode, you get all this back part together and then these sections up here don't sit flush. If I were to loosen this a bit, then these parts come in together. So I have to just fiddle with it a little more. But I think overall, they did an awesome job nailing that mode. So here you go. Here is Bumblebee in his Cybertronian mode. Really, really nice. Thank you, Hasbro, for making this. And Takara. I think this one's been a long time coming. I really hope they do make Jazz and Wheeljack in their Cybertronian modes as well. At least from the cartoon. So there you go. And we can probably wrap up with some vehicle mode comparisons. Okay, guys, so vehicle mode, to wrap up, as I said, this is a really great representation of that Cybertron mode. So just real quick to close up, we'll bring in some of the other vehicles that I have here. First, we'll start with here's MP21, and I know obviously these are the Earth modes, not necessarily the Cybertron modes. But here you go, so you can see how they compare. So that's MP21 size-wise. Put him here. Here's MP45. I know this is more a cartoon aesthetic, similar to this, but different, again, modes. It's Earth mode versus a Cybertron mode. But there you guys could see the size there. So you guys could see the size comparison. And we have, here's the Netflix Bumblebee in his Earth mode. So you guys could see them there, all four of them together, all the Bumblebees that I have. And again, I know this is a Cybertron mode, so it's you know, it's not really apples to apples comparison, but so you guys could see all the Bumblebees there. And then I also did transform, you know, here he is next to Hubcap, the Earthrise Hubcap in car mode. Here he is with a cliff jumper. And you guys could see him there all together. Just wanted to show the comparison in vehicle mode. But really nice. Great job. Okay guys, so just to wrap up the video, overall I am really happy with this figure. Again, I had been waiting for a Bumblebee that transforms into his Cybertron mode for a long time, and I think this one does a really great job at the price point. You guys could see him there in robot mode. Some small nitpicks, but I don't think it's anything that really takes away from this figure, again, at this price point. I think they've done such a great job. And again, for me, I would definitely recommend this, especially if you are a fan of G1 and specifically the cartoons. My hope is that this one does well, and that they actually do end up re-releasing this perhaps to more stores or you know, more online stores as well. I know they did that with the Skywarp and Thundercracker 2-pack. I think initially that was a Target exclusive, and then eventually, I guess once the exclusivity ran out, they ended up re-releasing that on a more wider scale. So I hope they do that with this guy, because I think more people deserve a chance to get this figure. And I also hope that Hasbro and Takara actually release Jazz, at least Jazz and Wheeljack in their Cybertron modes to go along with this guy. I think it'll be a nice way to expand this range of figures. But overall, I give this one you know, thumbs up. I think it's definitely a nice figure to get. Hopefully you can find one fairly easy. But other than that, you know, I hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions, leave a comment. If not, again, thank you for your precious time, and I appreciate you watching. And please enjoy the rest of your day and be safe out there. Thank you. Bye-bye.